Welcome everybody back to my channel. It's the March. Hope everyone is having a good day today and staying positive. I wanted to come on here to talk about some more wrestling related stuff. And I'm trying not to keep this video long. I pray that I don't keep it long. But as you know, for those that watch, we're like maybe still under 24 hours removed from WrestleMania Night 2 and the dethroning of Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. So I wanted to just come on here and just talk about that for a little while. Talk about Roman for a little while. As you can see in the title of the video, it's called Thank You, Roman. And, you know, back when Roman first started as a singles competitor, not with the Shield, you know, he was liked by the fans. Like, he started being liked by the fans until, like, they started to realize that WWE was forcing him to be liked. And, you know, at the time, they didn't want to like him because they were interested in another guy named Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan. And the fans just wasn't liking it, you know. And it's just like, every time WWE was doing something with him, it was like just forced, and the fans grew onto it, and they just didn't like it, and they let Vince McMahon and everybody in WWE, mainly Vince, know that. But as we all know, Vince at the time didn't care. He just still wanted to push him. And it's like, it's just like, you got a guy like Roman Reigns. You want him to be that guy. You want him to be the number one guy, the number one babyface in your company. But in the fans' eyes, at the time, they had another guy in mind as that. Like I just mentioned, you know, DB. Well, formerly known as DB, now he's BD, Bryan Danielson. So it was like, you know, the fans just kept booing and kept booing and kept booing. And it's like, until like one day Roman, around the time when the, you know, pandemic happened and the Thunderdome was invented, Reigns, well, I believe he left before the Thunderdome was invented. Yeah. I believe he left before the Thunderdome was invented. So Reigns took it upon himself to leave. You know, not because of that, but because of what was going on at the time. But I remember when he had stated on his social media that, you know, the fans always wanted him out of the main event picture, But as soon as I take myself out of the main event picture, y'all upset with me now. And I remember fans reacting to that. You know, they were like, it's not that, you know, some people were like, it's not that we don't want, it's not that you don't deserve to be in the main event. It's just that you don't need to be in it so much. So, like, that happened. And then as time went by, and then the whole Thunderdome era started with the pandemic, and he came back. He came back that SummerSlam during The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, rest in peace, and Braun Strowman match. And that's when he came back with the shirt, wreck everyone and leave. And it was off to the Rockets right there. And it's like, what really caught everybody's mind with the whole changing of his character was that ending segment that we seen at the end of SmackDown, of when they zoomed out, when the camera zoomed out, and we seen Paul Heyman sitting right next to him. So we all knew that it was something big going on, that it was something big to be happening, because Paul Heyman is the best, if not one of the greatest managers. I mean, if you look at the guys he made, you know, Brock Lesnar, you know, he was already a main stable at the time, but pairing him with him was even better. And I'm talking about CM Punk. And, you know, it's just so many guys. He just, even back in the day, I can't really name it, but you know, back in the day, he had some good, from what I've heard, he had some good people. So Paul Heyman, as soon as we seen him with Paul Heyman, it was like, okay, what's going on now? You know, people started, you know, I don't know if people were doing this, but okay, what's going on now? And it was like, off to the races. And then, all of a sudden, Jey Uso was the first person involved in it. Those first two matches, the Hell in a Cell match, and then the match at Clash of the Champions, or was it the Hell in a Cell match? Was the Hell in a Cell match first, or was that second? I believe that was second. Or I don't know. I may be, but I know it was. I know they had two matches, and both matches at the time was just phenomenal. Like, it was so good to see Roman finally be himself, because it's like, he knew he wasn't going to get over as a babyface. Not with the way WWE and Vince wanted him to. He knew that. So when he took that break, that few month break from the company, he came back and told Vince, like, hey, we're going to do it like this. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. Yeah, I thought I heard something. But, you know, and I'm pretty sure he had to argue, because, come on now, you're going to tell Vince what to do? Like, come on now. But you know, Roman, seeing that Vince wanted Roman to be big, Roman to be a big star, he had no choice but to listen to Roman and his his idea. And the fact that he wanted to be paired with Paul Heyman and start this group up called the Bloodline with his cousins. It was just magical. And you know, in that run he had like matches with he had a few matches with Kevin Owens. He had a couple matches with Jey Uso, you know, back when it first started. Like I said, the Hell in a Cell match, and then the Clash at the Champions match they had with each other. And then he got Jimmy Uso into it. That was it. So it was like Roman. And it's like every match he had from the start of this at the start of this 3.5 year run, all the way down to now, every match was just something to look forward to, something epic. I would say probably the only match that, to me, the only match that was the worst out of all his matches during his entire run was probably the last match he had with Jey Uso. The last singles match at SummerSlam last year with Jey Uso. That was, I don't know, that match was just, but you know, his whole entire run, and then, you know, the part of the story, the part of this big story, when they added Sami Zayn to it. Now, when they added Sami Zayn to it, you know, I heard that I believe Vince was involved in the beginning of it, but he didn't want to keep Sami in it for that long. But when Triple H, Paul Levesque, took the pen, and he just completely made that storyline must see. Like, it's like everybody was tuning into SmackDown because that's where the Bloodline was at. And then you got Roman, who was always a must-see. Even though he wasn't showing up. Even though he wasn't showing up like that, or he wasn't defending the title like that. But what did you expect? Of course, Roman wasn't going to defend the title like that. Of course. But, you know, I was even one of those people saying, well, he was upset with Brock Lesnar being a part-time champion, having a title for months upon months, only defending it couple times, 3 times a year or whatever. But now he's doing the same thing. This is exactly what I was saying. And when you really look at it, he deserved that. I mean, yeah, you may not like the fact that he was a champion like that, but he deserved it. Roman Reigns, because every time Roman showed up on TV, it was must see. So if Roman Reigns was to be on TV every single week, it wouldn't be as impactful as it is every couple months or every few months that we've seen Roman. So, and the ratings for SmackDown was in the 2 mil every time. Well, they was always in the 2 mil, but they were even a little higher than that when they knew Roman was showing up. And it was always something to tune into. You know, people that I watch on here on YouTube, they would say like SmackDown isn't good unless Roman is around. That's when SmackDown was good. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a sight to see what happens going forward. Because I know Roman is probably gonna be away for a while, especially with the, you know, I believe he was asked during their press conference on Saturday night. He was asked, you know, about his leukemia. And he said that he was in remission. And he was, you know, but he's blessed to be able to still perform for us. So I think that could be something to do with, I mean, he was probably going to lose the title anyway. But I think this is probably one of the main reasons why he definitely dropped the title. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying it could be. And, you know, I give Roman his flowers. You know, he's still the tribal chief. I don't care if he doesn't have the title anymore. He's still the title. He's still the tribal chief. He's still the head of the table. There was a rumor going around, I believe, that Triple H said that, you know, there's even better plans for Roman now going forward. And these plans are going to be something that's going to blow people's minds. So I already have a feeling what it's going to be. I do have a feeling that The Rock is going to be involved, because I believe The Rock is going to be away for a little while as well, because I heard that he was, you know, I guess he's doing a movie like after last night, after WrestleMania, he was going to go away and do a movie or something like that. But I know he's probably going to be back, because we're probably going to get Cody and Rock at SummerSlam. And when Roman comes back, that's probably going to be the start of the build to Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 41. Because, you know, the whole final boss is a seed to be planted. Rock. After all, everybody Roman has faced, even the Cody Rhodes, you want to add him to the list because he beat Cody Rhodes last year. Everybody he dominated, he defeated. Rock is the only person until now. I mean, Cody defeated him, but The Rock is the only person he didn't defeat. And The Rock is going around calling himself the final boss. Roman is the tribal chief, the head of the table. So now we got that story could possibly come about, or maybe it will come about. So, yeah, like I said, to me, Roman is still the tribal chief. He's still the head of the table. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have that title anymore. We'll just see what happens going forward. I do believe whenever he does come back, if he does leave for a little while, and he does come back, that's when we're going to get probably the start of a babyface run. Because I'm pretty sure he's going to come back as a heel. He's going to come back as a heel and then build up to being a babyface. But this time, knowing that, you know, because Vince is not around, he's not going to be shoved down people's throats. And this time, people are going to accept him as a babyface. So, I can't wait to see that. But yeah, this is just basically an appreciation video for Roman. Like, he deserves it. Like, no matter how you feel about him or how you felt about his run as champion, even me, at one point or another, the guy made WWE as a whole watchable. Because you wanted to see what he was going to do. You wanted to see what he was going to do when he showed up. Like, you just wanted to see that. And it's just, it feels different to me because it's like, I never felt this way, but I'm guessing because he's had the title for so long, it just feels so crazy. It feels so weird that he's no longer champion. I mean, we all know things come to an end. They don't always stay the same. They always come to an end. But it's just something about his title reign that just makes me feel like, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. And I was just watching somebody on here talking about it. In his, thank you, Roman video, he was like, because we didn't grow up in the era of Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan, Roman is our generation's greatest champion of the modern era. Even me. And I grew up watching the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. I grew up watching that. So I can say it as well because I didn't, that was in the early 80s and probably 70s, whatever. But Roman is, whether you agree with me or not, he's the greatest champion of the modern era. No matter how you look at it. I mean, I even said one time when I looked at the stats of the number of how many days he's been champion and the number of the title defenses he's had. And I'm thinking like, how is this even possible? How does this even make sense? How can you put him in the category of a Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan with the title defenses he has when they have like 900 and something title defenses? I think Bruno had that, and Andre had the 600 and something, and Hulk Hogan had around the same thing. It's like, how could you put that up against them three? But I mean, it's not just the fact that he didn't, doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's the fact that he's made himself into something that the fans love. And I remember when he first started doing the Acknowledge Me in front of fans, when they had the WrestleMania, I think it was WrestleMania 37, in front of fans. And it was Bryan Danielson, Edge, now known as Adam Copeland, versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. And he just embraced that when he was like, acknowledge me. And he had his eyes closed and he was like just embracing everybody, like all the cheers and boos that he was getting. Like, it was such an amazing sight to see, and it's gonna be missed. Like I'm gonna miss that. But that's what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get on here and give Roman his flowers, because he definitely deserves it. And I can't wait to see what happens for Cody Rhodes and for Roman and for WWE as a whole going forward, starting with tonight's Raw. I mean, I don't watch the show, but I keep up with reviewers and recaps. But I'm definitely looking forward to what happens starting tonight on Raw. But by the time you see this, it's going to be another day. So, but other than that, hope everyone continues to have a good day and or have a good night, and stay safe out there. Stay positive, like I always mention, and always know that God loves you, and I love you too. Believe it or not, I'm still happy to do this. Even if I don't get too many views on this, I'm still happy to do this. I love it. Or even with these videos, I mean, with my gaming videos I see, but with these videos I see I'm not getting that much, but thank you. I really appreciate those that's continuing to stay. And as speaking of my gaming content, I think it's part 11 that I have. Yeah, GTA 5, part 11, on the way. I just gotta edit it, but it's coming sometime this week. So check your notifications. Stay notified. Stay subscribed. I love you. Stay safe out there. Stay positive. Peace.